and welcome to Blackjack's Noseboard. You're here with Lynette, aka Fabled Hero, NZ. So here we are, just having a chat about my latest creation, Lexi. Lexi Livewire. So here we go. So we're just going to have a chat about how I've created her, inspiration and so forth. So without further ado, here we go. So this was the first picture we all got of Lexi. We didn't know it was Lexi, we didn't even know it was Tales of Aria until this came out. So Louis from Kitchen Table and TCG, I think he's the first one I saw. I know a lot of people shared it. Found this, or found someone on Noseboard somewhere, that this was in a page in a gaming magazine, and I was like, it's a ranger. Look at that bow. Look at that bow. So I was like so keen to do this, and I started like thinking about what I can make it with, how I'm going to do all these things, and then I kind of had a little brainwave, and I decided that I would contact Vincent Morissetti. So he was able to help me out with this picture, so this concept art. So you can see here you've got the front, you've got the back, you've got the shoulder piece taken off, we've got the hairstyles, the bun up and so forth, giving us the true concept of how the character was built. So this is cool because like you don't always have the front and back. The first concept drawing I saw was one that Sam Yang had for Dash, which looked really cool. Dash isn't, I love Dash, but she's not quite a character I can do. I'm sure that someone's going to do it soon, so fingers crossed, we'll have a Dash sometimes. And I mean, we did have a beautiful Dash over in the States as well. Her hair was a bit longer than I thought it would be, but that's how cosplaying goes. We all like interpret as we do. So here we go. So that was that part of the concept art, and then I also got this from my friend as well. So this is the bow concept art. Here you can see like the whole gaps, the proportions of the gaps, and the whole twist that there is. So and I'll just play and show you this third picture. And this one has all the angles. So all in all, I had these kind of pieces to work from. So I started with the bow first, as I usually do, start with the prop. I know it's an unusual way to start, but I don't feel that these particular characters, like Azalea or Lexi, being ranger types, without a bow that's complete, you're not completing the costume. So I feel that this is the best way, because if I couldn't get the bow done, I wouldn't have felt confident doing the rest of the costume. So I started with the bow. So I went and I got a whole lot of bits and pieces from my work. They had some offcuts or perspex from a job that we've done. I work in an emporium, but we make most of our own shelving and display cases. So this was just an offcut from a display case, and I was able to get my partner to help me to readjust, do this. I marked out all the thing, and he helped me with his bandsaw to get all the shaping right. I have a woodworking partner, or hobby woodworking partner, so he was able to help me out with that part. I drew all my templates up using the concept art as the proportions and so forth. Because it had all of the gridding on it, it made it a lot easier to get these proportions. I did use my depth dealer just for width of arms, because the depth dealer is made to me for each person proportionally wise. For a character, sometimes you need to make it bigger or smaller. So I use the depth dealer's proportions just to get that proportioned to me, because the depth dealer that deaf dealer was my third deaf dealer, so my first two were not proportionally correct, so I don't want to make that mistake again. So that's how I went about that. This is also made from insulation foam. It's already got the turn on it, so it's already got curve, so I was able to just cut out and get the curve and able to assist me with the twists and so forth. So you can see here I've just got it all laid out. This is me starting to stick things, and you can actually see that I've got two pieces stuck together to give the twist. So I've twisted it and stuck it together and twisted back up so that I can get that all twisting together. This is the where I started to get it stuck down, and then we've got the centerpiece. So at this point I'm trying to stick down the centerpiece. This is before I've hollowed it out to put the power source in. I've got it masking taped on so that it would stay put while I was gluing, because I used a different type of glue because I didn't want the hot glue to show as much, so I used a Gorilla Glue so that you didn't get so much of the show, but it also did a little bit of yellowing, but that worked towards the coloration of this anyway. So then the next picture is, so you can see this is like the finished concept. You can see all the twists, the Celtic twisting to it, the weaving, the floating. It looks like it's floating. It looks really great. It's brilliant. And then this is where, because until this point I didn't actually know what the bow was called. I was going through all these concepts. There was nothing. Federico didn't let on what the name of either of the bow was. So I didn't know until the point where this card got revealed, and it was Voltaire strikes twice, and I was most pleased. Voltaire, the power, the energy, the fluff. So I was like, I've got to put lights on this. So here we go. So I got some fairy lights, again from my place of work. Gotta love it. And as you can see here, there's a power box. Now this power box was just a little bit large, so I went and saw my friend at Wayne's workshop, Wayne, and he was able to take this power source off, attach it to a USB, and now I can get a power hub which is skinny enough to fit inside the handle, which I've hollowed out, and charge that power hub up, stick it on, it goes for 6 hours. I don't have anything hanging off. I don't have to try and hide a box about that large that was too wide. I would show you the bow now, but it's currently waiting for me in Wellington, and it's been dropped off at Sushi Nights, because I will be Lexiing it up at our Nats in January, which isn't far away. So yeah, otherwise I'd show you the bow as well. So that's what happened with that. And the finished product looks pretty cool. I used nylon, because the nylon elasticy kind of picks up the coloration, so it picks up the light from the lights. I'm not sure if you're going to see it much during the day, but it looks freaking brilliant at night. So, oops, we'll come off that bow, and we're back to here. So next on here, we started, so after I did the bow, I started on the armour. So, or as you can see, I kind of did the armour and the bow a little bit in conjunction. As when you're doing a job, a project like this, sometimes you need to put something down, do something fresh, and then come back, rather than pushing it, because if you push, you make a mistake and then you have to start again. So sometimes I will put something down and do another part of a costume, just so that I'm not over stretching on a particular part, because sometimes it's more beneficial to just come back. So here I've got some armour that was made for me from my Elspeth costume that I got commissioned made for me from my friends that were at Wayne's Workshop. They did a great job for me. I can't thank them enough. Thomas and I can't think of the other name, but yeah, Thomas and his friend, who are both working in the industry, but that's so cool. So they made this costume for me, and I used that template because I saw that the shaping was very similar to the Lexi shaping. So it's just to go get my blank space behind. It was very helpful because it was very similar in its design, not the same in any way, just the shaping. This was fun. This is really fun. So for this part, I want it to look like icicles. It kind of does right now, but the leggings were definitely not meant to be purple. So I got some more of that foam, that curvy foam, and cut it into, just chopped it into bits, and then just kind of layered it up. And because there's different shapes and they kind of come in together, so it kind of looks organic, but similar in the same way because you're using the same geometrics. Geometric shape. So it was just like a building thing, like puzzle pieces. It was fun. I really enjoyed doing that part. And then when it came to painting, we had some plastic dip, but it was odd colours. So this is the chisel stage, as I affectionately call it. So the plastic dip rubberized paint means that pieces like leg pieces and armour pieces, shoulders, that move quite a bit, it flexes rather than cracks. So using that kind of concept means that you're less likely to have flaking. There's things I'm learning over time. So yeah, a plastic dip layer also seals, because it's good to seal before you paint, because then your paint gets a better finish as well. As you can see here, I've also got the beginnings of the shoulder pieces. I think I made 3 or 4 of them, just to try and get the sizing right, the concept of the balance and shape. And I just wanted to have some backups because I thought that was going to be the hardest part. And here again you can see I've got three different colours, again using surplusy paint. Yeah, bits and pieces. This is the first iteration of the shoulder pads. I don't think shoulder armour, I don't think I actually used them, but you know, it's there. You can see, you know, it takes a few iterations to get things done. And this is our paint booth. So you can see here I've got the layered effect for the centerpiece, so it comes down to give the feel of what her armour is. And then I've got a Celtic weave, so I went through and I actually weaved all of them individually. I'm sure there's an easier way of doing it, but I weaved that foam and stuck and weaved and stuck and weaved. That for me was the easiest way for me to get that look, and to keep that Celtic feel. And here we have, I'm starting on the skirts. So with these skirts I made my own template using the artist mock-ups to get the right shape. So I've got that on the front and I've got the different shape on the back. I used a really cool fabric that looks 2 different colours, because I felt that Lexi kind of has that 2 different colour feel. That's how I worked it. It was fun to make. I had to make it in 4 pieces and then kind of stick together. Here is the belt. Now the story with this belt is I found a belt that was a bit deteriorated, but it had a beautiful clasp, and I thought this clasp is perfect for a Celtic feel project. So I cut the belt up and restitched it into this fabric, so that and it's got like a pin type seal that a lot of the Celtic designs use, like a pin through to hold things together. So I feel that it gives that kind of, I don't know how a belt was put together, but it just gives me that kind of little bit of something I put towards the character that I feel still kind of fits with the character, because she is a very Celtic, very Nordic character. And here I went through and I actually hand painted all of the belt so that it would have the right patterning. It's because I couldn't find any other way that worked for me, so I hand painted this one individually. Then I have, go on to next, we have, so when you're using different fabrics, it's really important to test out when you're painting it, so you can see how it's going to look. So I think there's a paint pen in this test pattern, and then there's using like an eyedropper design, or it's got a pin end, and just hand painting. I ended up going with something a little bit different, but you can see that it's important to do testing all the way along, because you never know how your fabric's going to behave. It makes it a bit hard. Right, so we missed one there. Should we go back? Yeah. So as you can see here, I went with a template. The template gives continuity with the design. So I've got the template, I painted on the design, and also it gave me the room to, like, I could do little intricate things, but it gave me the right shape so that I could continue on. And here we've got, I've just made it to a V, and you can see that there's an individual shape and design for those V pieces, just to make it look a little bit different. And then there's a close-up of one of the V's. So this bit is actually at the back. You might not see it much, but it was important to me for the character to have every piece painted. I'm not going to look at my back, but I'm going to be walking around. It is a 3D piece, so it's important that you get every piece that you can see and make it as true to form as you can. Yeah. Alright, play. What we got? So here we've got the drop down ribbons. This is just on. Yep, so it's just on the mannequin. So you can see I've got the drop down. I think I've done adjustments just to get the length right, but you can see how it all kind of falls together. Again, you can see how it's all falling together there. I've got some gloves. I'm not entirely happy with these gloves. I might try again, but they again are made with that insulation foam and some stockings. I think the stockings part of it is why I'm not happy, so I'll keep trying. So you see the whole look there. Alright, so now this is the perfect time to talk about the shoulder piece. So with the shoulder piece, I handmade my colour. So it's actually a navy blue with a gold fleck through it. So I made up my colour for this character. So I'm sure it exists somewhere, but this is a one-off colour for me. I individually painted each piece, both sides, and I used the Montana paint pen to get the lines and things, and the Montana paint pens are absolutely brilliant. This is a silver paint pen. I think it's a 14mm or something, and it was just really great. To get that gap, I used clear toothpicks or clear skewers, and it came out really good because I just got that nice layer, and then I pinched in at the back using a heat gun. So, and then we go to my beautiful wig. I was really pleased it arrived. I ordered online, and I was like crossing my fingers. I had a backup plan, but I didn't like it. It arrived, beautiful, long, wavy hair. So I had to look up on how to make it into the bun, to do the updo. There's a lot of pins and stuff involved with this stuff. And a lot of hairspray. So yeah, it is the first time I've done styling of a wig, because generally I try to do characters with the same colour hair as me, so I can just style my own hair. But I really enjoyed doing the white hair. It's been quite fun. Other pieces, so you can see here I made some arrows. So my original iteration was like moulded, made from clay, blah-de-blah. It just didn't feel right. So I ended up going back to the insulation foam, making one of these and a bead, a skewer and some hosing just to give that luminous feel, along with the luminous pearlized paint, which is actually all over the bow. That was quite fun. And then we can see you can see here that I've got shoes. Shoes are really important whenever you do a cosplay. You must have comfortable shoes. I went to #1 shoe warehouse. Yes, I know. But anyway, I found some silver shoes. Meant that I didn't have to do as much with them, but they are still have a bit of lycra on there just to match up so they sit right with the leg pieces. I also did the chest piece. As you can see there, I'm not competent at sewing that whole thing myself, so I found a bra. I recovered this bra, I painted all of the embellishments on it, and it came out really cool. There is a little fixture on the front that connects in, so I've got like a little brooch type thing that connects in so that it all kind of sits together nicely. Okay. So all in all, I really enjoyed doing this costume. It seems to sit really nice. But bummed that I ended up having to do a photo shoot at home. But I really enjoyed doing this with my partner. He really enjoyed taking photos, so that was cool. I was trying to be serious, but I had this big vision of going to the local rose gardens, and there's some beautiful big trees, you know, Kirishim and all so forth. But unfortunately lockdown kind of hit us here in New Zealand. So I was unable to do that, and we were unable to have our nationals. So I got this all finished and did a big reveal on Facebook, just because with everyone in lockdown it was just nice to have something we're looking forward to. I think that might be almost all of the pictures. Yep. So thank you very much to all of those who's tuned in to see my creation of Lexi. I very much enjoyed being here with all of you. Please like and follow Blackjack's Motorsport on Facebook, and also Fabled Hero NZ on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Dare I say TikTok. Great for short movies. So yeah, I will be looking forward to seeing a lot of people down in Wellington. My beau is currently down there. So until then, I'll see you soon. Who knows what I'll look like next time.